All right, guys, I'm Danny, of course, the Crypto Show, and in doing this Crypto Show, I mentioned earlier when we had the panel how it got started underneath the bank and all that, but one of the first things that we started doing is in interviewing people, we kept hearing things about, crypto's only used for drugs. It's no good for anything but drugs. Like, Silk Road this, Silk Road that, blah, blah, blah. So we started doing cool shit like going around feeding homeless people, or driving from city to city and talking to marijuana dispensaries about, hey, let's solve your cash problem with crypto. So constantly just doing stuff like this, and our sponsors would start funding us. We were able to do hurricane relief, travel to Mexico and build homes for people whose homes actually fell from the earthquake back in 2017. Like, literally I'm showing up at someone's door, knock, knock, knock. Hey, I'm here to build your house. And they're like, why? Because we can. So just doing stuff like that. And then about 6 years ago, actually 7 years now, with Anarchapulco, we started the program with the orphanage. And it just started off with some sandwiches and a few things like that. I got to ride over there with some bikers who had actually introduced me. And then the next year, a little bit more would happen. Dash sponsored us, so we gave all the kids wallets and gave them some free Dash, and I spent Christmas with them, brought them new ping pong tables and foosball tables and all this other stuff, and it just kept growing and growing. And then Anarchapulco adopted it, and now all of these people are showing up and wanting to be part of it. So it's not just the money that we raise at Anarchapulco that helps these things. It's the people come and they see and they want to take interest. Like last year, I met a lady on the beach while I'm taking the kids out swimming, and this lady walks out and she's like, well, what are you doing? Are these kids from here? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, I'm a French teacher. I'm like, okay. Well, I met her a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, she's still there. This is over a year now. She's still over there teaching them French. So a lot of people get involved in this stuff, and it's really cool. This year, what we're going to be doing, we mentioned the hydroponics earlier. We're building these hydroponic systems that'll grow 100 heads of lettuce or spinach or whatever it is that we're going to be putting in it, and it grows in 1 square meter. So we've just figured out how much it's going to take us to build these things, and we're going to auction them off at Anarchapulco. So if somebody wants to be a sponsor of it or whatever, if you want to put your company name on there, we can certainly hang a sign on each one. And I don't know how many we will sell or whatever. I believe I'll do a workshop too if anybody wants to learn how to make it. It was really quite simple, and I can teach everybody how to do this quite easily. As long as you can glue the PVC together right, you'll be okay. So I'm excited to do all that. And in doing all this, working with Dash, working with all these other companies, a couple years ago, it started out as a joke with Monero. We were, poking fun at people who think that there can only be Bitcoin, these Bitcoin maximalists, whatever. I mostly hold Bitcoin, so for value, I'm a maximalist in that, but I don't believe that there can only be one, this whole Highlander mentality. It's ridiculous. And the same, Monero has a group of people that act the exact same way. So we came up with a joke called Monero, as hey, here's a shit coin. We're going to call it SHT, and people were doing shit memes and all kinds of stuff just to get tokens. Well, that sent me on this journey of finding a blockchain for it, because at first it was a joke, and then like, well, fuck, let's do it for real. So I went to Komodo and Tezos and Zencash and all these others, and none of them had the features that I wanted, which was no gas fees. I don't want to be anything like Ethereum where it takes gas to send your coin, and we wanted it to be proof of work, definitely. Well, I ended up with Hush, and Hush is proof of work, but it's ASICs. So that was a little bit challenging. I don't want to go buy specialized equipment to do this when I'd rather just do it on a CPU. So the guys rewrote the algorithm, so now it's RandomX. So this is the first Zcash protocol that is a RandomX, that you can do it with your CPU or whatever. And we've utilized the messaging field that's within Zcash. So we've enabled that So the main focus is whether it has value as a coin or not, it's a good way to send messages. It's just like Signal. It's the encryption level of Signal. So you're sending like a Signal message. But the problem with Signal is that the phone number ties you together. So now there's linkability. You know, yeah, you can be encrypted all you want, but now we know you talk to this guy, and you know we're building a case on that you guys are talking all the time, blah blah blah. Well, that messaging is obfuscated through, you know, ZK snarks. Now there's no way of finding out who did it because, you know, the anon set, well, especially with Hush, Hush has the highest anon set of any crypto coin out there because of the what they've implemented in some of their features that, you know, accelerates the anon set. So our coin, Dragonx, is a side coin from Hush, and it's a smart chain is what we've called it. I don't know if you're familiar with Komodo, but Komodo allows you to build assets on top of that. It's the same principle, only we don't deal with KYC exchanges. You know, it's forced privacy, which Komodo did not offer. That was the thing that turned me off about Komodo, is there was no, you know, mandatory encryption. So I ended up going with Hush. Now I'm their marketing guy. I work with them, and I'm in the chats every day. I see who's developing, who's working, and you know, these guys are nonstop. They're dedicated to it. So I'm really proud to be part of the team. I know what they're doing, and I'm happy just to be there. So another project that's coming out of this, and this is going to be a speaker at Anarchapulco. There was in one of the Puerto Vallarta groups, I think about 6 months ago, somebody shared a video about a Mexican currency here, and it's in Papantla, is the main city. So they're called Tumin. This is an alternative currency that was made by the locals, that the locals use, but the Bank of Mexico decided, hey, no, we don't like that shit. You can't match your token or whatever, you can't match your little fiat currency to the peso. You're counterfeiting. So they sued them. And this was in one city. This happened in one city called Espinal, right? So it was just a small thing. But when the Bank of Mexico sued them, well, then all these other cities seen it and said, oh, really? Okay, so now we want to be part. So now it's in 26 cities. There's 1.3 million of them in circulation. And the way it works is a new user would come on board, and they give them, I know, several thousand, I think, of these Tumin, and then they will go to the merchants who also accept the Tumin, who were also issued Tumin. So they're making the circular economy of a local currency that keeps them out of the debt-based currency. So when I go to meet the guy, you know, he's telling me about all of the other cities that it's in. I said, well, how come it's not digital? And he said, well, we don't know how. I was like, okay, cool. So our team has, you know, agreed to go ahead and make a currency for them that we can replace the existing currency. Anybody who wants to turn in their paper currency for the digital currency, we will have that for them. Now it's a ZK snarks, so it's also a privacy coin. They don't even know that they're getting a privacy coin. So, you know, plus for them. But the issuers of this, in each region, there's an issuer of the Tumin for the people that live in that area. So they are the miners. We have to limit the mining to each person that's issuing the tokens. Now, from there, the Coinbase, all of the ZK stuff, when you mine the Coinbase, those are transparent. So what is in their wallet is transparent, that everybody can look at and see what they're up. But once it leaves the Coinbase, now it's shielded. So it's forced privacy from then on. So it essentially becomes cash at that point. So that, you know, this is not something that we can actually transact in, but for me, it's exciting because it's an actual problem. Like everybody's, you know, crypto's pretty much vaporware. Other than that, like we got pictures of fucking monkeys and stupid shit like that, but who's actually doing anything? I mean, Bitcoin has value, sure. So when something comes along like this, that's fucking cool, and that's what it is. So I'm just super excited to have that, man. That's pretty much all I wanted to share. If you guys want to learn more about Hush or Dragonx, if you want to start your own coin, If you're a developer, please do. We don't, we're not afraid of competition. We want people to come and build on our platform, because the more you build, we can learn stuff from you, you learn from us, and the whole ecosystem will just grow stronger from more minds. We need brain power to make this stronger, and that's why we offer this. It's not a cost. If you just want to spin up your own coin, fine. But yeah, if you can add new features that we can take advantage of, that's the way better for us. So that's all I got, man. Any questions or yeah?
Yeah, the Tumin. So
Yeah.
what cities is it?
They're in Oaxaca, Mazunta, Atlixco, in Puebla. I have a spreadsheet that shows that it's 26 cities. The main city that it's most prevalent in is Papantla, Veracruz, and that's where they did this. It was a big news story.
So you were saying that it doesn't really benefit us because we can't transact in it. But
And if you lived there,
yeah,
if you were a resident, you
so
could.
where I live in Mexico,
Right.
I could bring it there and
Yeah.
get merchants on board
Yeah.
to use it.
I mean, the Secret Garden, when I sat down and showed that to them, they want to accept it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in Bonfil, so we can potentially be bringing this to Bonfil as well. I mean, I have some in my wallet that I bought. When I arrived in Papantla, I just went down to the main town square and started asking around. The first person I asked, nah, we don't take that. I'm like, okay, cool. And I go to this other place where they're selling like the white linen shirts with the Mexican stuff on it, and the first person I asked, oh yeah, I have it right here. So, I bought 20 of them from that person. And then I said, well, where's the guy, who runs this? Because I had no idea even who he was at that point. And within an hour, he's at my hotel, and I'm talking to him about, hey, will you come to Anarchapulco and talk about this? So I drove I drove halfway across Mexico just to find this guy and say, come on, this is a cool story, and I want it to be part of Anarchapulco. And it's not crypto, but it's the same damn principle.
But it's a stable coin.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So I would say
Well, it's a local currency,
Yeah.
and the fact that the bank sued them and they had to use indigenous law to protect themselves, that's like, fuck you. So, I love that. Gotta love the underdog.
The other question that I have then, if it is a stable coin, you're saying that so someone is minting them, so you have to give them fiat.
Yeah.
So what's
No. You don't give anybody anything. When you become a new user, they give it to you. So it's actually mostly people who are very poor in that area that are given the Tumin. Not all of the merchants will actually accept full payment in Tumin, but they have to, if they want to be part of the program, they have to accept at least 15%. But some of the merchants will take full payment or half payment or whatever. Like say someone's cutting hair who has no overhead. Well, they can take full payment, but somebody who had to buy food, had to buy all the meat and tortillas to serve you a taco, 15% may make more sense for them.
So there's a limited supply of it, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Currently, there's 1.3 million in circulation.
okay, but it's attached to the Mexican peso.
Yeah.
But at some
It's
point,
equal. It's equal to the peso.
But because it's scarcity, at some point, would it not increase in value if more people that used it? You know what I mean? Like.
Well, it's been going for 12 years and it's stayed stable at that price. So the only thing I would worry about is if we do make it a digital token, that it ends up on an exchange. But I don't see it having value to anybody else other than locals.
Everybody just agrees.
Yeah.
That it's worth that.
Yeah,
So there's no.
that's it.
speculation.
But I mean, the peso is what, based in debt. Which one's better?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's better because you're outside the system.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just any way that we can stop using government money. That's the whole point of cryptocurrencies, is to stop using government money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could it be scaled up if something happened to the peso, to the replacement?
I guess it could. I mean, currently what we are going to have to only issue the amount that they currently have, 1.3 million, and then they have to give us the number of how many they expect to put out each year to new users, and then that's all we can issue to them. Otherwise, we would have to go back in and hard fork to give them more, which I mean could be done. Like it's not like something we're trying to make money off of. We're just trying to build a tool and see that it actually works.
Couldn't that also be like a currency? It doesn't necessarily need to hold value. It could be a currency. Other places?
Good.
Something similar.
Could it be a currency in other places?
Yeah, like
Well, it is. Like I bought, the ones that I bought, one of the Tumin that I bought actually said Oaxaca on it, but I bought it in Veracruz. So they are moving from city to city, being used in different areas. But I mean, it's still a local currency. So. Yeah.
So right now it's not digital.
No, it's only paper.
Okay.
It's only paper right now. It's like they're like little cards. Let's see. They're like business card, kind of business card size, and they have an embroidered stamp on them.
So that's a security feature? Is it the
Yeah, their embroidered stamp is the only security feature.
So
Yeah,
technically,
it could be.
counterfeit the
Yeah,
purchase.
it could be counterfeited,
So,
easy.
I mean, another reason.
That's another reason why. Yeah, why not something that can't be counterfeited? And like to him, it was like, God, we spent a lot of money in paper. I'm like, paper. So yeah, we're going to save you some money in paper, and it can't be counterfeited. But he didn't like. It wasn't really a concern that it was being counterfeited because only so many people accept it, and it was just kind of something to help people out that needed help.
So the total value is 1.3
1.3 million currently.
million
Yeah. So, and they come in 5, 10, and 20 peso increments. And I believe what they're handing out is 3,000 or 5,000 to a new user. And then every year, each user gets another 1,000 or something like that expands it. So
So not all are in circulation, is what you're saying.
I think they're all the ones that are out are in circulation. But if a new user comes along, they have to print more.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the money is given free,
Okay.
which is kind of like what they're doing when they print it out of thin air.
Yeah.
Only it's just not tied to debt. So that's the difference. I mean, when I talked to the guy, we didn't fully agree on scarcity. We had differences of opinion on scarcity, but I mean, you can't win them all. If we can build a tool for them, then that's great. I love it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, all right. Any other questions or? Okie doke.
Sorry, just one.
Yeah.
Once it's spent, they have no access to any more until they get the next lot.
Right.
Next time.
Yeah, which is like once a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still circulating. I mean, the guy with the shirts is gonna go get some tacos and whatever. So that's the main thing is keeping the money in local because the pesos are more apt to leave and go to Mexico City or wherever. But the Tumin's not going to Mexico City. It's gonna stay local.
So I think what's really important is that they've organically seen the value in that and come up with it, building their own economy.
Yeah.
And once you make the jump to digital, then
Yeah.
they can, you know what I mean? That
Right.
spreads, right?
Yeah.
That's the big thing is adoption.
Yeah, so it started as a project. The guy who's coming to speak was a professor at the Universidad Veracruzana, and I think he was a human rights professor. So they designed this whole program, and it started in the college, where just the teachers and the students and everything were transacting as a test. And then it moved into the near city, which was Espinal, and then it grew from there. But once he was sued by the bank, the university also fired him. So, like, holy, we can't have you around here anymore. So, yeah. Anything else? All righty. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, thank you.
I Thank you all so much for coming to Mariposa Freedom